So here's how we make 5 gallons of autumn amber ale. All of this stuff comes from Midwest Brewing Supplies in Minnesota. They've got the crushed grains inside this muslin bag. You steep it in about 2 gallons of water at 155 degrees for anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. Then you throw the muslin bag away and you add the malt extract. This is liquid malt extract, 6 pounds. You have to stir this in really well and make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot and that it dissolves completely. And sometimes you like to add a little extra flavor. I added a little bit of molasses to my wort. You can add honey, you can add fruit flavoring. If you like Leinie's fruit flavored beers, that would be the time to do that. So you boil all of this for 1 hour, 212 degrees, and as it starts, you add 1 ounce of Hallertau bittering hops. This is what they look like. Looks like dog food, right? So you just add that into the mix, and again you boil this for 1 hour. Now 58 minutes into that, or about 2 minutes before you're done with the boil, you're going to add a different kind of hops, 1 ounce of Fugel hops, and again you add that about 2 minutes before you're done. You'll see that here in just a second. This stuff all boils, like I said, for an hour. And just before it's finished, you add the finishing hops, this is called, the U.S. Fugel. You can see there's 2 minutes left on the boil, so we just pour that right in, stir it up good, and let it go for another 2 minutes. The next step in the process is you have to cool the wort. It has to be below 80 degrees before you put it in the fermenter. So we take a sink full of ice and put the pot of wort into the ice and let it cool. And once it's below 80 degrees, you can pour it into your fermenter. So I have a 5-gallon fermenter that I use. Just pour the wort in there. Be careful that the valve is closed. One time I did this, the valve was open and it started going all over the floor. It's not a good idea. And after you've poured all the wort into the fermenter, you top it off with water, plain old water. The primary ingredient in any good beer is water. So we're going to fill that up to the top, which makes, as I said, 5 gallons of beer. And when you're done filling it up, we're going to add the yeast, which you'll see in just a minute. Here's the yeast, and you just pour it on the top, like that. The yeast, of course, is what causes all of this to ferment. Then we're going to seal the top, and we add this valve, which is a one-way valve. This valve allows the gas to escape from the beer, but it doesn't allow any air to get into the beer, because at this point you don't want any air added to the beer. And then you just put it away in a dark place. I've got a spot in my basement, and I cover it with a towel, and you let it ferment. And it has to be between 65 and 72 degrees, and you leave it there for 7 to 14 days in the dark, and then it's ready to bottle.